Welcome back to the Micromolar Podcast.
We're so glad you could join us for our health and wellness series in collaboration with the Mara Jin Health Foundation.
Today we're getting into a topic that is absolutely critical to every medical advancement we rely on, the ethical frameworks that govern clinical research in humans. It sounds dense, but it's a fascinating story of how we learn to put humanity first in the quest for knowledge.
It really is. So, when we talk about the ethics of modern clinical trials, where does that conversation even begin?
Well, the modern starting point, tragically, was forged in the aftermath of World War II. The atrocities committed during non-consensual human experiments led to the creation of the Nuremberg Code.
Right. And it established an absolute ironclad requirement that is the bedrock of all research today: voluntary informed consent.
Exactly. It made it clear that you can't just experiment on people. They have to understand the risks and freely agree to participate. It was the first time ethical limits were placed firmly above scientific ambition.
That foundation was then built upon in 1964 with the Declaration of Helsinki. What's interesting here is that this wasn't created from a legal trial. It was written by physicians, for physicians.
A professional obligation.
Precisely. The declaration stated that the well-being of the research participant must always take precedence over the interests of science or society. It also formalized requirements for independent ethical review boards and a careful assessment of risks and benefits.
And in the United States, this thinking was distilled into a really clear, principle-based framework in 1979 through the Belmont Report. Instead of a long list of rules, it gave us 3 core ideas.
Yeah, which are so foundational.
The first is respect for persons, which emphasizes autonomy and informed consent. The second is beneficence, a great word that basically means maximizing benefits while minimizing harm.
Do good.
Right? And the third, justice, which demands fairness in how participants are selected, so that no single group bears all the burdens or is excluded from the potential benefits.
And of course, as research became a global effort, these principles had to be adapted. That's where you see guidelines like the CIOMS coming in, to address research across diverse cultural and economic settings.
That's such a crucial point. But having principles isn't enough without a way to implement them. This is where something called ICH Good Clinical Practice, or GCP, comes into play. It's the operational rulebook.
The how-to guide.
Exactly. GCP translates all these ethical concepts into detailed, practical standards for how trials are designed, conducted, monitored, and reported. It embeds ethics directly into the daily workflow of a clinical trial.
So when you put it all together, it's not just one rulebook. It's a layered, interlocking system. You have the moral absolutes from Nuremberg, the professional obligations from Helsinki, and the guiding principles from Belmont.
Right. Then you have global guidelines like CIOMS and operational standards like GCP to make it all work in the real world. Some regions, like in Europe with the Oviedo Convention, even turn these ethical norms into legally binding laws.
It's a robust framework, developed over decades, that collectively ensures that clinical trials advance medical knowledge while preserving human rights, scientific integrity, and public trust.
Perfectly said. That's all the time we have for today. Join us next time on the Micromolar Podcast.